So apabila saya pulled out the manual for PDPR 2020 that's given by Kementerian, so what I identified is what are the things that teacher have to do for pelaksanaan PDPR. So there's 4 important things that is required under the manual PDPR for pelaksanaan. Yang pertama adalah untuk merancang pengajaran PDPR. Yang paling penting sekali adalah perancangan pengajaran. Yang kedua adalah kaedah penyampaian yang sesuai. Dan yang ketiga adalah kaedah pentafsiran. And last sekali, kaedah penglibatan murid dalam PDPR. So saya akan sentuh semua secara surface. Fokus untuk hari ini adalah bagaimana pengajaran dan pembelajaran di rumah dilaksanakan. So dengan fokus kepada perancangan, reka bentuk, penyampaian dan juga untuk merekod aktiviti pelajar. So at every stage, saya akan menunjukkan cara-cara. Maybe I will give a brief introduction first. Selepas tu saya akan go through hands-on on the tools that is available supaya cikgu-cikgu boleh menggunakan dengan mudah untuk menyampaikan pengajaran dan pembelajaran. First, apabila kita hendak melakukan PDPR, kita kena ada perancangan. So perancangan maksudnya is not just snap whatever you have and put it. And apabila kita letak, kebanyakan masa kita menggunakan WhatsApp. And this WhatsApp message was totally a viral thing sebab a lot of parents start complaining and so on. So what we can do so that we can manage the class group without having too much messages involved in WhatsApp. So rather than kita menggunakan medium, another medium untuk menyampaikan arahan-arahan pengajaran kepada pelajar. So I will show you the tools. So first kali kita akan identify kaedah penyampaian pengajaran yang sesuai. Saya akan bagi very general sebab tak ada satu kaedah yang sesuai yang boleh map kepada semua kelas. Kita mungkin mengajar kelas 1, 2, 3 dan setiap kelas tersebut cara kita menyampaikan mungkin berbeza. So there is no one perfect fit. Sebab kalau budak darjah 1, cara dia mungkin berlainan sikit, darjah 3 lain sikit, and also darjah 6 mungkin lain sikit. So what you have to do is kita sebagai educator ataupun instructor need to identify suitable kaedah untuk pengajaran tersebut. So second will be the activity. So apabila kita sebut aktiviti pembelajaran, okay, aktiviti pembelajaran inclusive of a lot of things. The notes that you're going to give to the students, usually what you do is dalam traditional classroom, kita masuk kelas, cikgu akan buat pengajaran guna whiteboard and then student akan salin ataupun dia buat exercise. So the whole process now has been shifted to belajar di rumah. So how are we going to design the activities for the students so that whatever they're supposed to do in the class can be done at home? And the third part, the most important part is the content. Because what we do, we as a instructor selalu ataupun cikgu, kita mengajar pelajar di dalam kelas. Cikgu berada di situ dan dia akan mengajar, pelajar akan faham. Tapi apabila kita nak guna medium yang sama secara online, when you do for standard 3 and standard 2, I think you can't control the class because they can't take instruction. And sometimes when they first newly come to the Google Meet, they get excited, the audio is up. So how are we going to create the content easily and pass to the students? And what are we going to do during the online or whatever session is given in the timetable? So we will also discuss that. And another thing is about pentafsiran or the assessment. So jika kaedah assessment diperlukan for PDPR, so what type of assessment we can do also I will discuss as a surface. And what kind of kaedah perbincangan yang sesuai, actually the interaction with the guru and also pelajar. What happened is guru sekarang communicate with the parents and parents is in the middle of students and also teachers. So what we can do is we try to minimize the interaction. If possible, we want to give the instruction directly to the students. So I will show also some samples of interaction that you can give directly without going through the WhatsApp. We can see what we can do on that. So first thing, we have to merancang pengajaran. So we have to identify the teaching delivery, what are the method we want to use, the activities, what are the activities that we want to do for the learning topics, the content, the assessment, and discussion. Okay, for this purpose, I'm very sure di sekolah ada perancangan pengajaran yang standard, because I noticed that cikgu-cikgu memang dah ada. Tapi on top of that, I also recommend you to do something like this. No need to follow exactly, but this is what usually I will personally suggest to the educators, even in university level, or even some teachers who contacted me. I said, try to come up with a teaching plan for online, because now the issue is we don't have a proper teaching plan. So if you have a learning outcome that you need to achieve, what are the activity that is needed to achieve the learning outcome through online learning or through distance learning or learning from home? So what are the tools that you think that suitable, you can identify and you can plan? So once you plan, you will be clear, so that for every learning outcome that is needed, you have enough content, activities, and also discussion or anything that you have to cover the outcome that is needed for that particular topic. So this is just a template, but make sure that you identify the teaching delivery, the learning activities that is needed, the content, the assessment, and also discussion, if any. So you can use a template, something like this, or you can use any template that is available online to design your pengajaran and pembelajaran di rumah. So then you can map it back, because you already have one, I think, for school, but this is just to give you some guide. What are the tools you can use? What are the strategies that you can use, whether it's enough or not to cover? So for that purpose, usually I will suggest this, but it's flexible. If you don't want to use, it's also okay. Okay, when we come to kaedah penyampaian dan aktiviti pembelajaran, kita ada dua. Satu adalah synchronize, another one is asynchronous. Synchronize is segera, asynchronous is tidak segera. So meaning that you have live interaction. So example, schools have given a schedule. So you want to follow the schedule and you want to have a live communication with the students. So you can do that by having live lecture, okay, live discussion, because what I see, some of them have done Google Meet. Some of the teachers use WhatsApp. They send a voice note and then they ask the students to reply. And next is can use digital whiteboards like Jamboard. I saw some of them talk about Jamboard. You can also use Jamboard. Student can come online. You can share the Jamboard link and student can start to, write the input inside there. Or you can also have a schedule test or quiz in Google Classroom or even in your Google Form and ask the students to take the assessment online. You can also do that. Or you can do another way where that everybody can participate, because 1 hour is not sufficient to deliver the whole learning outcome that we have. Because during the school session, we had more face-to-face time with the students, more contact hour with the students to deliver the learning. But when it comes to online, you only have like 1 hour for maths, 1 hour for PM, 1 hour for English. So that is not sufficient. So what you have to do is you have to plan for that 1 hour using this particular methods that we have. So the remaining, you can put it in the form of interaction activities, or you can give them some homework to do, ask them to finish it, and then share the completed work. If you're doing online, they don't need to submit, they can just submit online. But if you're doing in asking them to do in a notebook, you can do that. So what you can do, you can ask them to snap and upload in their drive or even your drive for that purpose. Okay, these are the things that you can do. Or you can do a recorded. You record your teaching and put it in a Google Classroom or in any link that you have. Students can click and watch. They can listen to your content delivery and then they can follow the instruction and they can complete the task given. These are range of tools that is available, and some of it is already subscribed by Kementerian Pendidikan where you can just use. All the teachers and students, you have G Suite account, Google account, and also Microsoft 365 account. Both the account entitle you to do a lot of things using the tools that is available in G Suite and also Office 365, Microsoft 365. So I will show you through hands-on a few. I will pick a few to discuss so that you will get some picture on that. Okay, besides that, I think I will also show you how you can keep your students' work. Try to create a folder in Google Drive and student will do the submission there. Or you can ask the student use one folder for them and they will just submit everything there and you just click at the folder to view the student work. So I will also show you the setup for the Google Drive later, how you're going to do so that you can keep the student work. Another thing is on the screen recording. So for the basic content creation, I will show you how you can record the screen. And these three tools are free. Free meaning that you can use freely, no payment. Okay, Loom is something that a lot of teachers love to use because the free account entitle you for 45 minutes recording. So far, no other application allow you. Another one is that you can use Screencast-O-Matic. This one only 15 minutes. This one is also good, equally good. Can go up to 15 minutes. And if you want to create voice note, you can use this particular site. You can record your voice and then you can save it as a MP4. It will be automatically saving and you can upload in your Google Drive or you can upload in your Google Classroom or digital board to give instruction. So usually voice note ni digunakan untuk berikan arahan kepada pelajar. Okay, first I will show you how you want to create content. So content, as what I said, we have two ways of creating content. Satu adalah cara yang paling mudah sekali, ialah menggunakan textbook yang sedia ada, digital textbook yang sedia ada, dan kita record screen. So Loom for educators, free for students and also teachers. All you have to do is you do a simple verification. So when you do a simple verification, it will allow you to get the account for 45 minutes free. Get your account verified here. So how you do it? You go to Loom. If you're not sure, just type Loom. You will get loom.com. So this is the site that we're going to create the account. So get Loom for free. I'm going to sign up with my Google. So teachers can also sign up with their Google account. Okay, we, the university lecturers, also get a G Suite similar to the teachers. So I'm going to sign in by using this. So once you come here, you will see the Loom dashboard. You will get to see an option, record a video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click record a video. Then it will pop up the player and you will see the most important setting that is available here, full desktop or current tab. So most of the time what we are doing is we are recording our like example explanation in your textbook. So if you have a textbook that is available, then you want to record some explanation related to the textbook, then you can use full desktop. But if you are using any of the tab in Chrome, but usually I will suggest you go for your full desktop. Then you will have an option screen only, you see, camera only, or you want both. So both meaning that it will record your face together with the screen. So this is actually what we suggest so that the student is not seeing physically the instructor or the teachers now. So if possible, try to make your face available so that they know this is the teacher. Another thing is if you're using a lot of external devices like microphone is not built in, you have a special microphone, then you can choose here. Okay, I'm going to show you one sample. So I will start record. So when I start the recording, it will ask me which screen. So I can choose, let's say this is my textbook. Let's say this is the textbook. So I'm going to open this, share. And you can see that this timer is running at the bottom. And you can see that particular screen is being recorded. I have to come back here because my webcam is now used for both, for the Zoom and also for the Loom. But when you do it, you will have only your particular one Loom. And you can see at the bottom your picture with the recording is here. So you can start telling, welcome dear students. Today we're going to learn about certain topics in the syllabus, and you can talk about whatever available on your screen, explain to the students how the content works and the concept in that particular page. And once you're done, you just click the right button. And the beauty of using Loom is you can do trimming here one shot. So you can start the trimming and then you can put where you want to trim. So the portion that you want to remove, you can highlight, because sometimes you will have stops here and there, or you might do some mistakes in the recording. Don't worry, just continue, don't stop and retake. It will take a lot of your time. Do one go. Any mistake, do in the trimming. So select the one you want to remove and then start to trim. The original video will be there, don't worry. So remove. So what happened now is this video will be published. Then you can share, meaning that you can share the link with the student. No need to download. You can share. So you just share, copy the link, and it is available. Okay. So student does not require any login. They can also see the video that is given as long you set it as public and give the link to the student. So you can do that. Okay, I'll go back to my personal. Then I can see my video is available here. And at the 3 dot, you can download the video. So if you feel that you don't want to make it available for public, because some teachers, they feel that want it to be private, that means nobody can access to it. So you can just hide it, no one can access. So what you can do is later when you come back to personal, you download it and download and upload in your own drive and give the students the drive link, and student can access through the drive link. So example, the second option, the first option is we share directly. Second option, you have your Google Drive. I show you there also. Ni Google Drive kita ni. Drive kita login. Okay, I drag and drop in my drive. So sekarang saya dah record. Saya dah tukar status di dalam Loom tu untuk private. So tak boleh lah, seorang pun tak boleh akses. Orang luar, somebody nak cari pun memang tak ada nota kita, private. Tapi saya dah download satu kopi dan masuk dalam drive. So ni adalah drive saya yang ada nota. So when I click, I can see a option share. Ni adalah video saya. Dia ambil masa apabila kita nak upload, maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes depending on the length of the video. Baru bila kita buka nampak video tu, kena tunggu sekejap. So bila dah keluar macam ni, kita tekan pada 3 dot dekat tepi pada video tersebut dalam drive, share. Yang ini sangat penting setting ni. Apabila kita klik share ni, sangat penting setting ni, di mana sekarang cikgu-cikgu menggunakan G Suite. Jadi kadang-kadang pelajar ni dia akses tak guna akaun Mohi. Ada yang guna akaun ayah, emak dalam laptop. So susah kita nak monitor. Setiap kali ada saya tengok dalam grup parent kata tak boleh buka lah, that and this. If they use Mohi account, no problem, because your account is linked with the Mohi account. So semua yang dengan related to the Mohi sepatutnya dia dapat. Tapi disebabkan sekarang kita ada cases di mana ada student yang selalu gunakan laptop parent, so kita kena tukar status ni. Kita kena pastikan anyone with link. Pastikan adalah viewer, jangan letak editor. Kejap lagi dia pergi delete video tersebut. So letak viewer. Viewer maksudnya dia boleh view sahaja. Video yang sama tapi kita ada dua cara. Sama ada kita letak di dalam player yang Loom dah buat, ataupun kita letak dalam drive kita dan student klik dia dapat. So yang ini pun kita boleh buat. Okay, Screen-O-Matic. It's also a simple tool. This one you can download the player. Boleh simpan dalam laptop kalau nak. Kalau tak nak boleh buat recording terus lah. The difference as what I say, kalau kita gunakan Loom, kita upgrade account kita kepada educator, dia automatically dapat 45 minit free untuk recording. Kalau kita gunakan Screen-O-Matic, dia 15 minit je free. Kita boleh login, sign in with Google, use all your Google account, G Suite account. Sebab kadang-kadang the educator package, memang Google educator account tu entitle you some additional features dalam semua tools. This is very basic, but if you're able to use Loom, you can do editing. Loom advantage dia ialah you boleh buat editing. Screen-O-Matic ni memang tak ada editing. Dia hanya boleh record sahaja. Selepas kita login, dashboard dia lebih kurang sama kat tepi panel, dekat tengah recording. So kalau kita tengok editing memang kena bayar. Okay, you can do recording. Launch recorder, open recorder. Okay, so ni adalah recording saya sekarang. Saya set dekat mana saya nak record. And saya akan ada both webcam only, kalau nak guna webcam, screen only or both. I can use both if I want. And I can position dekat mana saya nak letak webcam tersebut. Okay, then you can see everything is available here. And the button untuk record ada kat sini. So kalau kita record, ada dua cara. Satu adalah kita pause, kita record balik. Dan kita boleh stop and record. So sama ada you want to do one go atau kita nak stop and record, also can under this particular screen recording. So once you're done, you click on done, download. So the whole thing will be downloaded like this. So sama juga buka screen yang kita nak record, nak PowerPoint ke, nak PDF ke, atau even your digital textbook. The most easiest one I will recommend digital textbook. Sebab digital textbook dah ada. Kalau cikgu-cikgu ada masa, baru fikirlah kalau kita nak buat dalam bentuk PowerPoint ke dan sebagainya. Okay, so this is one way. Recording with existing material yang dah ada. Canva login is canva.com login. Okay, you enter to Canva. And under the plan, if you see, it's free for everybody to use because they have limited storage. So I use my existing Google account to log in. So Canva is not only suitable for creating graphics, Canva is also suitable for teaching and learning. So when we are here, then we will go and choose create a design. And if you see here, you can even create posters for any events in the school if you have. Infographic. Infographic is the one I want to emphasize here. Most of us have a lot of information that we want to give to the students. We can create by using infographic. There is a lot of infographic templates that is available for the students. You can see like example like this. The template is already available. So what you can do is you can just modify if you want to change it. DLP, no problem. DLP, they will use dual language. But if you are teaching only Malay, then you can just change accordingly. And then you just double click at individual or click once at individual elements that is available. And you will get the properties at the top. So you can change the colors if you want. You can add some effects. And there will be other things that you can include like other photos, elements that you have. You want to add on text, okay, musics, anything that you have, and make sure that whatever you use the one without crown. The moment you use with crown, you cannot download. It will not allow you to download. I repeat, you can use any free templates. Like example, you want to take some butterfly pictures. You click on butterfly and you will see here the option. The one with the Pro, if you use it, you cannot download. So I will usually suggest take the free ones, or you can also upload. Remember, the size is not much given for the free account. So try to reduce the number of upload. So once you're done, you go here and you can download PDF. You can download PNG or JPEG. Usually it is recommended PDF. Okay, you see here why I cannot download. This is what I mentioned, because I have a Pro. So the moment I remove, I can download the PDF and you have a very nice infographic for your class. Something that you want to summarize by using a nice infographic, existing infographic, you can use Canva to do the design. And there is a lot of templates that's already available. So you just modify a bit, and if it is paid, you just remove, upload by using some pictures that you find from internet, then you can put it in your infographic. So this is if you want to emphasize on certain points. So second thing is on the presentation. A lot of teachers using PowerPoint, but PowerPoint you have to build from scratch. Not much design is available. But the moment you choose Canva, under Canva presentation, so for education, there's a lot of free template that is given by Canva. Canva already created some templates for the teachers. So even they have for science lesson, they have for English lesson, visual arts, the templates are already available. So let's say I take one, make sure you take the free one. So when you take the free one, you can choose whether you want to apply all or you can just apply individually one by one. I move on, I add page, I move on. So the template is already there. So all you have to do is just click change the font, colors, whatever you want to do, you can do here. The topic also can be changed. So if you want to add a voice note into the Canva, okay, there is a tool. Okay, no need to log in, no need to do anything. You can start recording, is free. As long as you have a microphone setting adjusted, here, record. Hi, dear students. Welcome to our class today. Today, we're going to learn about, okay, so you have it, trim, whatever you want to trim, save, and it will be downloaded. And you can bring this MP3 that you have downloaded. You can use it in your PowerPoint slide. You can use anywhere you want, even in WhatsApp if you want to send some note or you want to put a note in a digital board, you can also do that. Then you come here, upload media. So you can upload media from anywhere you want, but currently I'm going to use my device. So under download, I'm adding in. Hi, dear students. So if you don't want, you can remove or you can have it available. So if you see for each of the slides, you can control. So let's say you talk about for the first slide for 0.0, then you can reduce to 0.1. So the first slide, your audio is only for 0.1 second, and then you proceed with the next one, followed by your audio, then third one followed by your audio. So your recording, you need to plan. So first, maybe 1 second, you will be talking about the first slide, and then you pause for a while, second slide, third slide, fourth slide. So once you finish the recording here, in here, you bring it inside Canva and you adjust accordingly the timing for each slide according to the timing in your voice recording, and you will able to map into Canva. So this is how you can create a presentation with a voice in Canva. Then once you're done, you can do the presentation straight as what I said, or you can download. So there's two options here to download. It will be suggesting an MP4 if you have an audio. Currently, I have embedded audio, so it's suggesting an MP4. But what I can do is I can also do a PDF. So when I do a PDF, it will give me a PDF document. Okay, all 3 pages, download. Then you will get like this. So if you think it's very difficult for you to do a recording in a separate tool and then map it into Canva, you can create a very nice presentation in Canva, bring it out as a PDF, and then you add a screen recording here. So a screen recording which allows you to add a voice inside and convert to a short video. So you can also do that. So there's a lot of flexibility. It's depending on how we want to deliver the content. So you can also see a lot of PowerPoint videos that is available in YouTube, and you can share it in the class, or you can create yourself. Of course, no time now. I know a lot of you are busy, but you can try to explore whenever you have time, see whether you want to use or not. When you log in by using your existing account, you will get a pricing. A free account only entitle you for 3 minutes. If you want to deliver a content for the students, a 3 minute is sufficient to deliver a certain concept. So you can break it into bits, small bits, and you can use 3 minutes video to explain one topic. They do have some templates, but the templates are very limited. Very limited meaning that the free templates are not many. So mostly is for pro. So not many free templates that is available. Okay, I'm just giving you an overview because Canva training usually we will do 1 to 2 days for teachers or even lecturers. So I'm just going to give you a small overview how you can customize the templates. So if you already have a template that you want to use in your class, you can actually change the option from edit to create. Then you will get the timelines at the bottom for you to edit. This is a bit complicated. So that is why that usually I don't show it as a walkthrough. So if you want to edit as it is, you can just go in and change one by one, just add the information without changing any animation or any content in the sequence. And then once you're done, you can just export, and you can download as animated GIF or YouTube, or download as PowerPoint. You can do that. So if you want to do advanced editing, then only I will recommend you to move from edit to create, where it will allow you to change the audio, the sequence of the image or the element you use. This is a bit advanced. I can do for the teachers, but if you have a group of teachers that really want to learn about Powtoon, it will take at least 1 day, a few hours, 4 hours training on Powtoon itself. So I'm just showing you content can be also created by Powtoon. So if you have any free templates that you think that you want to use for your class, just click edit the basic and you can export it down. But if you want to do advanced editing where you change the edit to create, you need to know a lot of things. You need to understand the timeline. You need to understand how the audio works. So far for content, we will keep to basic, where if you have any digital content that you want to use, you can do the recording. Just use a screen recording, or you can use a PowerPoint, or you can even use Canva, or you want to use Powtoon, also can. You can try first. But for basic, keep to basic, start with basic, and then slowly you upgrade. So those already in advanced stage, maybe you can explore. Those who now only trying to create content, I will suggest you start from basic. So that's on content. So okay, next that I want to show to you is on creating learning activities for students. So you can use this particular talkleak.com. This is with your Microsoft 365 account. All the teachers, you have Microsoft 365 account available. All of you are familiar with G Suite because a lot of people giving awareness on G Suite, but quite a number of them forget that they do have Office 365, which has a lot of features inside here, a lot of application together bundled with 365. Inside there, you can see the Powtoon is coming up for single sign-on, and then they do have the TalkLeak here. These are the tools that is available to assist the teachers for their teaching and learning process. But if you want to explore and want to know further, you can always contact me. I can do a special separate training on individual applications. Okay, so now I'm going to show you on this. Okay, I'm using 365 login. It's premium account. So here you can see these are the types of activities that you can create for your students. You can do a random number, comparison, additional subtraction, multiplication, bingo, word puzzle, crossword, so many things that actually you can do. Once you click, you can have the option to create. So let's say you want to create a crossword puzzle. So you click at crossword puzzle and you will get the task. Okay, so then you put the question. Okay, make it simple. And then, okay, you save it. Okay, save this data set. Okay, save it. you can create the category if you want. You can create some categories. This is to manage your work, because similar to Windows, you can create like folders, and then you can put the related topics together inside. Okay, then once you're done, you can publish as a homework, or you can also create a link. So this link, you can give it to your students. You can give it in Google Classroom. So what I'm showing now is activities that you can create on top of what you're doing now. So for those of you, normal basic way is you will ask them to do the crossword puzzle in exercise book, or you will give them a handout in the form of PDF and ask them to do a PDF crossword puzzle. So to improve further, you can also use this particular tool that, and once you have created, you can share it with your student. So the student just click and they will get the link for them to do. Okay, this is one way of doing it. But I'm going to the next part, the important part, on how you're going to put all this together. So of course you have Google Classroom. A lot of teachers are using Google Classroom. So for those who are still exploring, want to put the teaching instruction. So if you want to make it easier, I will suggest you use this, what we call as Padlet. Okay, I'm just going to show you one sample. Okay, this is what I created for one of the classes. Look at the instruction. The class info is clear, is here. And for individual subjects has been explained. This is based on WhatsApp. So what I have done is I have extracted all this out and I put it in a digital board. The same thing, if you look at WhatsApp, it's very difficult for the parents or even the students to follow. But once you put it like this, there's only learning instruction there. So the WhatsApp group, you can use it to give any other instruction. For learning instruction, you can put everything in the board and you can tell the students only refer to this particular board for the teaching instructions. So this is very simple to create, similar to how you're doing it in a WhatsApp group. It's all text-based. The only thing is you're doing in a digital board, something like a whiteboard. So to do this, if you log in by using your Microsoft 365 account, you are entitled for 5 free digital board. But if you log in by using normal Gmail, you will be only entitled for 3 digital board. So I will suggest you log in by using your Office 365. So I'm going to show you how. Log out here, Padlet.com, click login. If you use your Microsoft account, you're entitled for 5. If you use your G Suite, you're entitled for 3. So you can choose any account that you want. Then you will see the dashboard to create. So if you log in, yours might be empty, nothing much there. You will have an option to make a Padlet, join a Padlet or gallery. So here, if you create one, it will be something like this, where student can access to the instruction given in the digital board, and they can access it at any time they want without having to wait to the WhatsApp messages. It will be available only the teaching instruction. So I'm going to show you how to create that. So when you click on create, there will be a few options that's popping up. So usually for classroom instruction, I will suggest you to use shelf. Click at shelf. The Padlet will be created automatically. So all you have to do is change. If you want to have any icon, you can have your icon and you can customize. That means you get a unique name. You can change the wallpaper. So you can see there's a lot of option that is available that you can choose. There's also a blackboard if you want to use. Then you can control whether you want to have any students to comment. Student can also comment to the post, but if you think that no comment is required, you only want to give them the instruction what they have to learn on certain days, you can just put it as no, leave it as the default. And the way the post is going to be arranged in the screen, is it first one first or it's going to the last, you can decide. You can choose how the post is going to appear on the next start posting. So you can put here depending on how you want to put. So if you say it's a learning content, then you can put in. So here for every content that you have uploaded, you can actually upload a PDF file. If you have any PDF file, so you can upload like this. Or if you have any link of your Google Drive, okay, it will take time, then it will be uploaded. So you can also create a simple board like that, and then you can put all the exercises. The one you have in PDF, the one you snap and everything can be put inside here. And the student can also look for the instruction inside here, or you can also create by days. For example, okay, now the position, if you see it's adding at the top, but if you want to change, you can just go back to the setting and put it as last. So if you put it as last, then it will be adding at the bottom. So this one you can change. And you can also add more columns. If you want to edit, you can edit. So once you're done with the instruction of learning, you can share it. So you can also collaborate with other teachers by adding the members. So those who are working together on the subject, you can add more members, or you can share it. So if you see here, it is secret and only available if you share the link. So the permission is to read. So permission is to read. Save. Back. Then I copy. Students just have to click at the link given and they can open to see the teaching instruction. This is the most simplest way of giving instruction. So all this while we came through a series of tools that I showed you how to create the content, how to create the learning activities, and then what are the tools you can use for recording. But this is the simplest way that currently the messages that has been uploaded in WhatsApp, you can convert into a digital board like this, and you can lay it out properly so that anytime the student come, they know what they need to do. So there's no messages being lost in the WhatsApp group. So now there's two way of submission. There's two way of submission. The first way of submission is you create the drive and ask them to upload in the link. One. The second way is the student actually create a folder for your subject and they upload all the work every time in that particular folder. They just share you the link of the folder. Also can. So you can choose which one you want. Okay, let's say the student created this particular folder or the parents created the folder here for the student and the student upload all the related exercises inside here. And this particular folder is the one they share with the teacher. Or you create this particular folder, click at the folder, share, change, anyone, because sometimes parents will help the students to upload and change it to edit. Lastly, I just want to show one more thing before we stop. A lot of you are using Google Form, but if you use Microsoft Form, the same way to create, okay, when the student respond by using Microsoft, you will see here, you will get a lot of feedback. Like example, for each of the questions that you give, you can see average number how many responded, and what is the time required to complete. This is under Microsoft Form. Microsoft Form have better features. I'm just showing you very quickly. For language teachers, you have multi-language here. Primary, add Malay. They do have Malay, so you can have double language inside this particular form. So it's simple, similar as how you do for your Google form. Those who have used Google form. So you have your title. So what is the topic? Add. So you can have choices, text, or you can have ratings. So if you have choices, you can have your question. Okay, then you have, is it multiple answer or single answer required, similar to Google form that you've been working on. If you have subtitle or branching, you can add on. Then you can have a lot of other things. So this is if you're doing form. But if you're doing quizzes, then you choose quiz. So quiz will have for option the correct answer. In forms, you won't have. So if you're preparing a self-assessment for the students, you want to give them some kind of assessment, you can try by using Microsoft, because Microsoft can actually do the part that you needed, which is to track the involvement of the students, because you will get the average time they use to complete, and what is the average respondent, what is the average answer they have given for each of the questions. Detailed analytics will be done by Microsoft Form.